His feet are heart and soul. He flags me down and looks around. Says, do you want to score? I tell him no, that.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to the ninth edition of the Armchair Podcast. It is, April 7th, 3:46 a.m. Anyway, just in case you're curious, the theme music that I've been using so far, this might get me in trouble. Hopefully, fucking ASCAP doesn't come after my ass, but it's Jim Capaldi, Wild Dogs. And I think I found that song, almost 2 years ago. I found it on like 420 of 2014. And ever since then, I've just been busting that song out just for, I don't know, when I'm like, it's a particular mood. It's like, okay, yeah, like I'm about to go do some shit and fucking, I'm on a mission sort of deal. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm not in a good mood, but I'm not in a bad mood either. It's just like, okay, I'm getting this fucking thing out of the way. But, you know, I don't know, man. There's something about that song, just fucking every time I play it, it calls out to me. Something about it. I've been dropping so many F-bombs already. It doesn't even matter because no one listens to this podcast. So, whatever. Fuck it. Let's see here. I don't even know where I'm going with this today. I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately. I mean, who doesn't, right? But let's see. I've been watching things like The Ranch, or finally, Netflix put up a new season of Bob's Burgers. I think they've had a couple seasons since I've been able to, I picked up on season 4 because that's what they got up right now. And I think they're on like season 5 or 6 now. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention, but that's one of those shows that kind of crept up on me. I didn't like the concept of Bob's Burgers at first, but it grew on me. And part of it was I had this girlfriend that got me into it, and so it's one of those things, I'd probably rather not like to remember her, but that's kind of how it goes, and that sort of thing. When somebody turns you on to something like that, you just kind of remember, oh yeah, that person fucking got me into Bob's Burgers, for example. Let's see. I'd been watching The Ranch, and like I mentioned earlier, and that's that new show with Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson, and I've been wondering to myself, like, when you consider, like, okay, you've got Mila Kunis, you've got Ashton Kutcher, hell, even like Wilmer Valderrama had like a little bit more of a career, I think, than Danny Masterson did. Maybe that was a conscious choice, or maybe just, Danny Masterson just couldn't get any gigs beyond fucking being Stephen Hyde, who knows? I don't know. But I thought The Ranch was a good show, but it was like one of those things where it was like, okay, we're basically Redneck, that 70s show, and we got Sam Elliott, the guy from The Dude, right? Big Lebowski, the random cowboy at the bowling alley with the mustache. Anyway, so yeah, Sam Elliott's on there. He does a good job playing the what do you call it? The workaholic dad who nothing's ever good enough, and you're all lazy and, all that kind of shit, right? But in general, I thought it was a good show, like I said already, but it just runs the risk of being that 70s show, because it's like, I don't know, it's 2016 and they're still using a laugh track on this show. I don't know. I don't know. It's 2016. Like, why are we going back to a fucking laugh track of all things? Otherwise, not a bad show. It's got a very clear format of like setup, punchline, little interlude between some of the jokes that may or may not be like a serious storyline. There's the love interest. I mean, it's a typical like sitcom with canned laughter. Another show that I've been watching a lot on fucking Netflix is this thing called Brickleberry. Again, that same girlfriend who I mentioned earlier, who got me into Bob's Burgers, also was really into Tosh. Watching Tosh Point oh like religiously, almost kind of like how I listen to my podcasts now. And let's see, I don't know. I mean, it's like, okay, so basically Brickleberry is like a cartoon show where like these park rangers, or I think it's Yosemite National Park. Who cares? It's a national park somewhere, and they're basically watching a park. Daniel Tosh's character is this like little bear cub that just basically is like Stewie Griffin from Family Guy, except it's, wherever the fuck Daniel Tosh wants to say, because it's his show, I think, or at least his production company running the show. And I don't know, like it just feels like, okay, when Daniel Tosh gets shoved in there for like that's how it feels. It feels like when he's in there, it feels like, oh yeah, we just shoved Daniel Tosh in here. It's an awkward puzzle piece fit. I don't know how to describe it. Honestly, I mean, like, on another note, whatever the fuck happened to Daniel Tosh? I know he's still popular, but it's like, I don't hear people talking about Tosh .0 or whatever the fuck a whole lot lately. It's like, 2013 or a little bit before that, he had like a shit ton of popularity. Everybody's like, oh my god, I love fucking Daniel Tosh, bruh. And now I don't hear anything about Daniel Tosh. I mean, maybe he just needs to, maybe he's writing some more material and it's like coming up here in a couple of weeks or some shit, who knows, but I just haven't heard anything about Daniel Tosh lately. I was cruising through the list, I guess, while I'm still on the fucking Netflix topic. I was cruising through the list and I saw this. I might just fucking watch it because it looks laughable, but it was a Steven Seagal movie called A Good Man. And I don't know, like, I'm pulling it up here. It looks like he's holding like an MG42 or whatever those light machine guns are on the cover. And I don't know, Steven Seagal's got this like fake ass looking hair for like the last few years now or longer, where it's just like, if it is his real hair, it's just like obviously like the worst jet black dye job on someone's hair ever. Or he went the fucking John Travolta route and he's just like got this wig on that's, slicked back hair, because that's been his look since like 1980 whatever. But what's this movie say? Okay, so here's the description on Netflix about A Good Man. After his military career ends in disaster, a special ops agent works as an anonymous handyman until one of his tenants is threatened by gangsters. And it's got all these like dramatic ass shots of him holding the like a new ass AK and then like some samurai swords. And I don't know, man. It's just like fucking Steven Seagal always, man, just looks like a douchebag. He probably is a douchebag from all these stories you hear. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, yeah, I was hanging out at a party one time and fucking, whatever, I wasn't making a big deal out of it, but Steven Seagal was getting a little wasted or something like that and was trying to be like, I could probably kick your ass. So fucking Van Damme's like, all right, fuck this shit. Like, after like enough of like, you let slide one or two times is I think what he said, but then like after like a few times he was like, okay, listen, we're gonna do this, all right? If you keep wanting to say you're gonna kick my ass, fucking, or that you could, let's fucking do this. And of course Steven Seagal's like, well, I don't know, fucking, at least that's how the story kind of went. He fucking just backed out like a bitch. I don't know. Again, like, well, I never said it in the first place, but I know Steven Seagal could fucking kick my ass, all right? So for those of you out there that are listening to this and like, whoa, fucking, you don't sound like a fucking tough guy. What do you know about Krav Maga? Israeli special forces. You're right. I don't know anything about fucking kicking ass or any of that shit, but I know Steven Seagal's a fucking douchebag, all right? All right, moving on. So, this was kind of weird news. I guess a crab truck, ? Flipped over on 99 in Seattle. I'm about to hit the web and just see what that's all about. Real quick, bear with me here. Crab truck, Seattle, flipped over. What we got here? City leaders pleased with response after truck full of crab tips over, halting traffic on the Alaskan Way Viaduct. Okay, that's what I thought. But I was at work at the time when like I guess a lot of my coworkers have to drive via 99, or that's the way they choose to go, because I-5's a fucking gamble. But I guess they were taking 99, and like a tractor trailer full of frozen Alaskan king crab legs crashed and tipped over on the viaduct. Yeah, that shit shut down. Shut shit down for hours. And let's see, spilling boxes of seafood on the street below. I don't know. I bet you a bunch of homeless people were like, "Oh man, fucking crab legs, hell yeah, baby." No one was injured, thankfully, I guess it looks like. But man, fucking, I'm not even into crab, first of all. So it's like, whatever, fuck it, But I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh man, my crab legs are gonna be more expensive and all that shit, right? The other thing I really wanted to say is, like, why the fuck are we still using the Alaskan Way Viaduct? Like, that shit should have been down already. Like, they should have demolished that. I don't know what they're going to replace it with. There's going to be, like, a lot of, stuff that they're working on. If they tear it down, and then they basically got to redo the whole waterfront like they've been talking about for, I don't know, 10 years or some shit like that. But, yeah, that even Chris Gregoire, the former governor, was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna fudge on this. We're gonna have the viaduct down by, like, I think it was like 2014, and here it is 2016, and we're still driving on that. The viaduct is sinking like inches or half inches per year, or some crazy ridiculous number by that. We shouldn't be using the fucking thing. It's gonna be like some earthquake that's gonna, like, kind of like when 1989 or whatever that was in Oakland, when there was like a serious ass earthquake, and you saw all those sections of collapsed highway. Some people died because, like, a section of highway just fell on their car and they got crushed. That's what's going to happen here if we keep using the viaduct. I mean, I don't know how serious it is, but I mean, it's just an inevitability. If we keep using that goddamn thing, and we don't come up with any alternative soon. I mean, they just don't want to close it down because it's like, I mean, I-5 traffic's bad enough as it is, and then, what are you going to do? You close down the viaduct, or 99 at least, that portion of 99, and everybody's going to want to use I-5 or some of the arterial streets, and that's just going to cause a huge influx of traffic. But still, I mean, like, okay, so, what, you're just going to keep letting it run till a wheel falls off? I mean, and risk people's lives? For what? The convenience of a poor infrastructure? I mean, we've acknowledged for years now that we have a boom kind of, well, not quite a boom sort of growth, but I mean, if you look out your window, all you see is cranes building new high-rises and all that stuff. I mean, we're getting more and more people, and we just have nowhere to drive our cars. And nobody in this fucking state fucking carpools, it seems like, which is not a big deal to me. I mean, I only have to drive like 3 miles a day to work and back. But still, it's like, man, fucking just shut down the goddamn viaduct already, and suck the tax-paying Washington state residents' dick, and just fucking get shit over with already, and build a better infrastructure. Fuck. Anyway, it's one of those things I'm probably not qualified to talk about, but that was my rant on it. I mean, I could go on forever. I mean, ever since Gary Gridlock fucking was governor, there's been this pattern of, and it's probably been going on even longer than that, but I mean, that was when I was starting to become conscious of who's the governor of fucking Washington at the time, was Gridlock. Anyway, yeah, man, fucking ever since then, as far as I know, it's always been this policy of, okay, we're gonna improve roads, but first, before we improve roads, we need X amount of millions of dollars to do a study. Okay, so we're like, all right, well, fine, whatever, as long as you do something with it. We give them the money. Several years later, we ran out of the money, but that solution didn't turn out to be something that we wanted to do, so we need more money to do another study. And it just kept becoming this fucking thing of like, we're basically fleecing the government's pocket, and who knows what the fuck they're actually doing with the money, doing a quote-unquote study, when, just now, when I was like a little kid, I'm 28 now, we were talking about replacing the 520 bridge, and just now it's almost done. This state's been horrible on fucking infrastructure. We can't agree on what the fuck to do with it, and we can't agree on how to spend it, and so the government just fucking just collects a bunch of money from tax-paying citizens, and I don't know, it's just a shit show. That's all I know about it. Anyway, truly moving on. Let's see here. I don't know, man. Like, lately I've been, this is music related, I guess, but lately I've been hitting the scan button on my car radio, because all I got is like a CD player. All I've got is a CD player. I'm sure there's parts of the world that would be like, oh, you fuck. I would kill for a CD player right now, but no. So all I've got is like a CD player, and of course like a radio in there. But I'm tired of my CDs, or I don't want to have to burn more, or whatever excuse I can come up with. But when I'm listening to the radio, then I'll hit the scan button and see what I can come up with. Sometimes I'll stop on the Latino channel and listen to the cha-cha, cha-cha, like the typical ranchero or the bachata or whatever they got going on for that night, or KEXP. This media company called iHeartRadio just switched all the fucking stations around lately, like including like some that have been like the same channel for like 20 years or more, and so now it's like, or gotten rid of some because it's like whatever, that wasn't in their format agenda or whatever. So scan's like probably like my best thing going on anyway, but I've heard some interesting stuff, that's for sure. At least on the scan dial. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that agree with me. Every time I do the scan button and people are riding in the car with me, they're like, oh man, yeah, we're getting to hear some cool shit. Like when I actually decide on a station that sounds cool. Might be the jazz station, it might be college radio, it might be fucking my dick playing a fiddle. I don't know, whatever. But what I was going to do, I was going to check out fucking Billboard.com and just see what the fuck they got going on. I'm going to hit the pause button here real quick just to load up the website so I don't got you on hold while I'm clicking buttons and you can hear all that shit in the background. All right, now that I got the page loaded up, let's see here. Boom, right on the very front, and I guess this is one of those things I was going to talk about anyway, but right on the very front, gotta say, R.I.P. Merle Haggard, country legend, died at age 79. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find some tunes real quick. Putting it back on pause, I'll play a little bit of Merle Haggard while we're doing this. Alright, so we got a little bit of Merle Haggard going on here. Let's see if I can get the volume adjusted on this.
We always do 2 or 3 for the working man, but this is really the working man song, one called the Working Man Blues.
Alright, that's more like it, I suppose. I don't know much about Merle Haggard here, so gonna wiki his life real quick, just because I think the man deserves it. I know a few of his tunes, I'll be honest, but let's see what old Merle Haggard was about. Merle Ronald Haggard, April 6, 1937, April 6, 2016. Holy shit, he died on his birthday. You don't get that very often. Anyway, let's see. Obviously, American country music songwriter, singer, guitarist, fiddler, instrumentalist. Along with Buck Owens, Haggard and his band The Strangers helped create the Bakersfield sound, which is characterized by the twang of a Fender Telecaster and the unique mix with the traditional country steel guitar sound, new vocal harmony styles in which the words are minimal, and a rough edge not heard on the more polished Nashville sound recordings of the same era. Let's see what his, what kind of we're listening to Mama Tried right now, but let's see. I guess he released stuff like the Okie from Muskogee or Fight Inside of Me. They don't really have like a big hits. Oh, I wonder what like some of his big hits that I probably would know are. Let's see here. Swinging Doors, don't know that. The Bottle Let Me Down. Sounds like a country song. I probably know it, but I really don't. I'm a Lonesome Fugitive. Branded Man, Sing Me Back Home. Mama Tried, which is what we're hearing now. Hungry Eyes, Working Man Blues. Maybe I take that back. Maybe we're listening to the no, we're working the Working Man Blues. My bad. We're listening to that. I said that wrong 2 or 3 times now. Okie from Muskogee, The Fight Inside of Me, Daddy Frank, Big City, Think I'll Just Stay Here and Drink, Are the Good Times Really Over, Going Where the Lonely Go, Silver Wings. You know, I can't say that I really know a whole lot of Merle Haggard, actually, but I do have respect for his career and all that. I guess it is what it is, you know. R.I.P. Merle, you know, you'll be missed. Anyway. What's going on in the Hot 100? Fucking, the bane of my existence, fucking Rihanna's Work is fucking still number 1. 7 Years by Lucas Graham is number 2. No fucking idea who that is. No, Meghan Trainor. I hear a lot of good things about her, but I guess I'd have to check her out. Pillow Talk by Zayn, number 4. Number 5, Love Yourself by Justin Bieber. I fucking hate Justin Bieber. I know a lot of people out there too. But man, I fucking hate Justin Bieber. For no fucking reason other than just he seems like a real fucking douchebag. Let's see. My House by Flo Rida. Don't know shit about that. He's whatever to me. Stressed Out by 20. I actually liked 21 Pilots. I gotta be honest about that. They're one of my favorite newer artists. I don't know how to phrase that, but I actually kind of like them. Me, Myself, and I, G-Eazy, Baby Reha, I don't know how to pronounce that shit. It's R-E-X-H-A. I don't know what the fuck, how you're supposed to pronounce that shit. I Took a Pill in Ibiza, Mike Posner, Work From Home, Fifth Harmony, number 10. As I keep going down, it's probably just a bunch of shit that I don't really give a fuck about. Yeah, man, I am so out of it. Like, I mean, I know who some of these artists are, like Dierks Bentley, Drake, fucking... But then there's, like, The Weeknd. There's stuff like Drake and Future, Troye Sivan, Brett Eldridge, Sia featuring Sean Paul. I mean, obviously I know who Sean Paul is, but it's like, man, I have no clue who some of these fucking people are. Like, I might know Kevin Gates and all that shit, but I feel like an old man right now. Let's see what the old fucking... I don't know. I just have nothing to say about some of these people. See what the rock chart's like. Rock is a fucking broad definition because I'm sure they're going to give me like the most generic rock there possibly is. Stressed Out. 21 Pilots is on top of the generic rock chart. Let It Go by James Bay. I wonder if that's like the same as that Frozen song, and if so, go fuck yourself. I'm tired of that fucking let it go. Ah. I don't have a good singing voice, but you know, like I like to just sing and make fun of stupid shit like that, so that's what I do. Go fuck yourself. The Disturbed. I can't believe I said that. The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. What a fucking dumbass idea for a fucking cover song. Like, why would I want to hear a Simon and Garfunkel song covered by Disturbed? Fucking the same band responsible for, like, Stupefied and, like, dun, 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 join the Navy, you know? Like, go fuck yourself. X's and O's. I keep hearing good things about this Ellie King, but I don't know anything about her. Coldplay, I've always fucking hated because it's just, like, too... I'm looking up just the definition of ethereal just to make sure it's the right word I want to use. Yeah. Yeah, ethereal. Like, fucking, there's something about a Coldplay that's too ethereal for me to fucking handle. It just makes me want to fucking vomit. Um, oh, what a surprise. Simon and Garfunkel's The Actual Sound of Silence is also, it's number 6 on the chart. Like, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's back up because of fucking, if Disturbed puts out a shitty version of the song, I'm sure the original is going to probably want to make people listen to that shit. Ride, 21 Pilots, number 7. I can go with that one. That one's a decent song as well. Victorious, Panic at the Disco. Are they still making fucking music? Ophelia, Lumineers, Unsteady Ambassadors. That's the top 10. It just probably kind of repeats itself depending on like what track's hot at the moment. I'm getting old. I don't give a shit about any of this stuff except for like a couple here and there. Okay, moving on. I saw a picture of somebody that I used to work with at the strip club in downtown. They posted on, they were a child star, I'll put it that way. They were definitely in some popular horror movies. Anyway, so she had posted some photos online saying that she knew the guy who played fucking Pugsley Addams on the 90s Addams Family movies. I think it was Jimmy Workman. Let me just make sure what the kid's name is. Yeah, Jimmy Workman. Anyway, so I was kind of surprised by that. I thought, like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, though, because it's like, okay, if you're a child star, you're going to probably know other child stars, right? But this Jimmy Workman dude was wearing a tribal design t-shirt, and I realized I hadn't seen a tribal design on a t-shirt in a couple of years. It's like those things went the way of the flames back in the 2000s. You remember that shit? You'd see that kid in class with the it was almost like silk, but it was like some kind of knockoff cheap fabric, and it had the flames on it, and maybe the pants had the flames, but they were also like bondage pants, and you basically had to waddle everywhere, kind of like you had to take a shit because you couldn't, fully stretch your legs out because you're that fucking idiot wearing bondage pants. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I hadn't seen fucking a tribal shirt in a couple of years. But I think it's like one of those things for, I'm not saying this is true about Jimmy Workman. I'm just saying, the tribal shirts seem to be for insecure dudes. Like any of those like trendy things, like I've known people personally who put effort into that shit. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I wear sunglasses all the time because like it attracts attention, and I like to wear like purple clothing because like it's royalty and fucking chicks check you out all the time. But like the dude, between the time he was having that conversation with me and between like, up until like maybe a year and a half ago or something like that, was not banging chicks. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to put any sort of, weight into that argument or whatever in my mind, just because it's like, okay, this guy's done the research, but his application is just fucking falling flat on the face. But I mean, I do see plenty of dudes that have taken that sort of approach to it, and so, they got the Ed Hardy shirts, and they got the fucking expensive ass cologne, and they got the backwards baseball cap or whatever angle that they want to throw it at. They get too wasted and they always want to fucking start a fight. Like, man, those I thought that thing fucking just like, those guys always come off as like really insecure is the point I was trying to make. But then also I was like, I thought that shit went out a few years ago. Like, I mean, I know there's bros still, but man, fucking, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to judge anybody for wearing tribal shit, but I hope you know that you're a dumbass still. I got too many fucking hobbies, this podcast being one of them. I've got to basically just sit down and make myself like a real ass motherfucking schedule where it's like, okay, hour by hour, this is what I'm gonna do. And let's say if it's something like practicing guitar, like 5 minutes on just finger exercises, 10 minutes on scales, that kind of shit. I wish I had more time in the day to practice guitar. Sometimes I'm sitting here, like, and off to my left, got, like, I've got a nice bass. I've got two American, all of my guitars sitting to my left are all American made, but, they're all reputable brands. Some people would, jizz over my bass. I'm not going to say too much, but some people would jizz over my bass. They haven't literally, but some people have. And then, I look over in the other direction, and I've got this painting of Gasworks Parks that I've been not working on, but it's been, like, half done since, like, I don't know, 2014 at least, maybe? It's been a while, and I've just been kind of sitting here looking at it, not finishing it, and thinking, like, okay, how can I do this better? I don't know. I got way too many fucking hobbies. And it's interesting, like, okay, so I've got all these hobbies and stuff like that, and I find myself in a situation like, okay, if I'm chatting up with a chick that I'm actually for once interested in, I'll be like, oh, hey, what do you, I'll ask them, like, hey, what are you into? But where I was going with, like, the secondary thought that I just had was, I learned this method of talking to people, which is /rape. The acronyms meaning family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. These are questions you would ask people, about the positive aspects of your life. Like, tell me about your family situation. What do you do for a living? Or what would you like to do? Or whatever. Recreation. What do you do for fun? Dreams. What do you want to do? That sort of thing. It's a bad acronym, but rape's also pretty appropriate because it's religion, abortion, politics, and economy. And obviously nobody wants to talk about rape, and therefore nobody wants to talk about the acronym in this situation. Again, religion, abortion, politics, and economy. So anyway, but when I ask them the recreation part of the conversation, like, I'll ask a chick, like, so what do you like to do for fun? It's a pretty broad question. But every time I ask that fucking question, ladies just shut down, and they're just like, I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not know what you like to do for fun? Do you just work all the time? Do you fucking, like, it doesn't have to be, like, literally, like, I don't know, going on a roller coaster fun, but, like, if you're doing yoga, like, 5 times a week, say that. That has to be fun for you on some level because, it's either making your body look better or whatever. Or, if you read books, fine. Reading books is fun to people who dig that. I like reading books from time to time. But that's my point is, like, some of these women out here are just, like, so focused, I think, on, like, when I ask them that question, like, they're so focused on, like, what the money answer would be, and I don't give them a whole lot of ammo as far as, like, like, what would be the money answer. So they're like, I don't know, and it's like, man, just that's why I asked you this question, is I'm trying to get to know you, and you can't even tell me that you like to go fucking shopping for clothes. I know women love going shopping for clothes or fucking shoes, or even if you're not, like, a woman who loves going shopping, like, there's something that you're not telling me, and it's like, okay, this is part of my frustration with women. They just expect you to fucking know everything about them before you've even talked to them, or whatever. Fuck it, it's just like. Point is, I've got too many fucking hobbies, and I don't understand how some people don't have any or can't tell you about them. Speaking of one of those hobbies, whatever the fuck happened to guitar players anyway? I remember back when I was working at a music retail shop, locally owned. That should be enough info, I think. Some guy came in one time and was like, man, like, remember how back in the day there used to, like, this is a common thing about, like, working in, like, musical instrument retail. There's always, like, that old timer that comes in and is like, oh man, back in the day, bro, fucking, we used to, like, lace our headbands with fucking LSD and it's just like, either, okay, yeah, I believe you, or, like, you're totally full of shit and you're just fucking high right now, wasting my fucking time telling me a bullshit story. Whatever, no sweat off my nuts, because either way I still have to fucking listen to you, but you're really annoying right now. But yeah, this guy came in and he was like, "Man, what happened to like guitar players? There used to be like a Stevie Ray Vaughan or a John Petrucci and all this stuff." And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. I can't really say who's like the guitar player at the moment. Um, there was another guy who was working at that same store with me who was really into Dream Theater. And personally, I've always thought Dream Theater was not my thing. I know as musicians they don't suck dick, but as a unit, I just never dug Dream Theater. Fucking James LeBray's voice just ruins the whole fucking thing for me, and therefore I think Dream Theater and all of their fans suck dick. But that being said, my answer to that guy was like, well, I mean, I think it's still John Petrucci. There's no guitar player out there that stands out in my mind. Like, I mean, and that's like excluding guys like, there's some guys that I know that jizz over fucking John Mayer, but I mean, he's good, but I mean, he's got a particular thing that he does, and it's not really my thing or whatever. Alexi Laiho, or however you pronounce that. I mean, but it's like, there's nobody that's like, I don't know, the guitar is not cool at the moment, so it's not like you've got like a bunch of guys like back in the day, like Ritchie Blackmore, Clapton, Hendrix, whatever. It's just like, and we got a guy pushing a button, we got Skrillex, we got fucking DJs doing their wiggity 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 on the turntables. I respect all of those things. As a matter of fact, I'd be interested in learning how to do turntable work because it's cool, but at the same time, it's just like, man, the guitar is just not cool at the moment. Like, you've got definitely a core group of people that support it, but it's it's not the instrument that's going to make you the most money at the moment, unfortunately. See where I'm at on the podcast here. About 40 minutes, roughly. 37 minutes, who gives a fuck, but you know what I mean. So, there's that. I don't know what else I got to talk about. I mean, it's just a short podcast today, but I think I had some loaded ammo. Whatever. Fuck it. I'll catch you guys later on, maybe next week, whenever I decide to fucking do this thing again. I'll leave you with the remainder of that Jim Capaldi song. Until later, peace out, bitches.